and welcome to Saturday versus Sunday. I'm John Barbin flying solo. Jeff's not with me tonight. Just doing a reaction to the disastrous Monday night game with Buffalo and Miami. I don't even know where to start with this one. I mean, Buffalo looked good, but the story was really the Dolphins and how bad that turned out for them. And I kind of feel bad for the fans. How many times do they have to see this with Tua, him going down again with another ugly looking concussion? And the same thing happened when he hit the ground. His fingers went all kind of weird and it just didn't look good. And when he walked off the field, it looked like he just kind of knew. It sort of, he didn't look like your typical player walking off the field who's expressing disappointment because they're not, they don't get to finish the game. First of all, he had a funny gait. The way he was walking looked weird, and he just didn't look really concerned about that he's not in a football game anymore. So I don't know if it's just happened enough that he just knows how it goes and realizes, oh, he's gonna be going through concussion protocol and probably gonna be out for a couple of weeks. But man, did that not look good. And by that point of the game, I think they had already lost their left tackle, their left guard, and then Tua went out. So that game couldn't have gone much worse. And before the hit and what seems to be the concussion, he played terrible. He was a couple of awful interceptions. I think 3 total interceptions. And, one of them was kind of unfortunate. He hit the receiver sort of in the shoulder. He couldn't grab it and it bounced. But then the other 2 were just, I guess the other one, the receiver quit on the route, but then the last one, when he just, I don't know, thought he was throwing it away, and instead it was a pick 6. Well, what an awful game. I mean, the Dolphin fans, you must be pretty upset right now. That's a terrible look. I mean, the crowd was totally checked out halfway through the game. I mean, there was just nothing to be excited for as a Dolphin fan there, and everything to be upset about. That is as bad as it gets. I know it was the end of the game and the game was over, but Skylar Thompson doesn't look good either. So it's not like you have a competent backup who can actually win you a couple of games. I'm pretty sure as long as Tua's out, you're just going to be losing every game until he comes back. But this raises another question with Tua specifically, is how many more of these concussions can he sustain before it becomes a serious medical, like, longevity issue for him, where it's more important for him, for his future health, to stop playing football. When he gets hit, it looks bad. Like, a lot of guys get hit and get a little roughed up, and it takes a bit for them to get back into the game. But when he gets hit like this, it looks really bad. I don't know enough about how concussions work to know if some people they're just not built the same and can't handle getting hit as hard. But holy smokes, that was bad. And now we've seen some of the worst looking results of a hit and concussive symptoms. He's the one that's looked the worst out of anyone I've ever seen in football. So this is not a good look. Dolphins just spent, what, 210 million, 212 million on his contract, 160 something guaranteed. That was a 4-year extension, so I guess they have him for 5 more years. And if this keeps up, there's no way he's playing out all 5 years of that contract. I just can't possibly see him lasting 5 more years. If this is, we're in game 2 of this season, and who knows how many games he's going to be out. And I don't know if he just keeps getting a little bit slower. I don't know what kind of run that was. That actually, it was a tough enough hit, but Hamlin's not a huge guy. It's not like he's getting popped back there by Fred Warner or somebody. Or that was, yes, it was on the side of his head, and I guess any hit to a head could always lead to a concussion. But he seems, I guess the word is fragile. It just seems like it's easy for him to get concussed. And of all the things, of all the people who should be sliding feet first and not putting his head in there, it's him. So going head first there wasn't going to gain them any more yards. It wasn't going to change the complexion of the game at all. And instead, this is what you get as a Dolphins fan. You get a guy who's, I don't know, man, a couple of more of those, and I could see his medical team advising him to pack it in for his career. I can't see how many more times a guy can get concussed, and maybe I'm overreacting to how kind of graphic it is when his fingers do whatever his hands were doing when he hit the ground. The last time it was kind of jarring to see, and this time it was quite similar. And you could see all the players immediately calling for the training staff to come out. I mean, they knew that something was wrong with him as soon as he hit the ground, and he had that funny posturing reaction. So I know people who are aware of this know what those postures mean. We'll talk to Dover about it in a future podcast here, but man, that did not look good. This is about the worst of all possible outcomes this early in the season for the Dolphins. You just backed up the Briggs truck for this guy, and now you've lost him for, who knows, at least a game or two, probably, I would think. But again, coming back from another concussion, what shape is he going to be in this time around? Is he just going to be even a little bit slower, be even more susceptible to the next one when it comes? So tough to know. I mean, man, is that bad though? What a disaster. I just can't imagine what the fans think. And another thing, at the end of the game, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle were just on the bench. Like, I get it. They're like, it's not likely they're going to come back from down 21 points. And the team was deflated. The stadium was deflated. Like, all of the air was out of the Dolphins at that point. But that is just fully conceding defeat. That's not even trying. Like, what kind of message is that to your backup, that we're not even going to give you our starting receivers to even play with? And what kind of message is that to the fans? You're basically telling the fans we're incapable of scoring any points or actually doing anything with this as a backup, and we're not even going to try. So I thought that was a bad look. Maybe I'm not understanding the strategy there, but I thought that was a terrible look that those two weren't even on the field. Not even to get a feel-good touchdown, a couple of completions, anything. Just, nah, the backup's in, we're done. Don't even bother with the starting receivers. So front to back, that was a complete disaster. Miami fans must be so frustrated and disappointed right after you sign this guy, and that this is what happens. I don't know how many, I haven't talked to too many Miami fans. I don't know if that was the major concern signing this guy, but as just an external observer, that would have been my major concern, is what's going to happen if you sign a guy who's this susceptible to concussions. And here we go right away. Second game of the season. And not to mention, the Dolphins just cannot beat the Bills. I think they put up a graphic, the Bills are 11-1 in their last 12 games against Miami, and it doesn't look like that's going to change moving forward this season. So I don't know. The offseason didn't seem quite right with Miami, like losing Christian Wilkins, and a few moves there just didn't seem, I don't know, it didn't make sense to me. And then now this happens. So just, I don't know, maybe a couple of bad decisions at management level, and now just a really bad luck here. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe this was an inevitable thing with a guy who gets his bell rung so easily. Maybe this was just inevitably going to happen at some point this season, but man, did it ever happen soon. And that looked really bad. And on the other side of the other side of the game, the Bills look good, and it isn't the Josh Allen show all the time anymore. They have a running game now, which the rest of the AFC, at least the East, should be on alert now, because they haven't had a running game. And God, it seems like since Allen's been there, it seems like they haven't had a running game. Now they actually have what looks like a pretty strong run game, and they don't have to rely on Allen. I think getting rid of Diggs is a blessing in disguise, and now they can distribute the ball to whoever deserves getting the ball, or just whoever's open. And who cares if so what, you don't have Diggs. It doesn't look like you actually need him. And now it seems like the offense can run as an offense should run without trying to force the ball to someone who's demanding it. Now the ball will go where it belongs, or where it should go. And I don't know. I was wondering how that would work out, but I think it might actually be working out better for the Bills. And even though the Bills keep losing guys on defense, it's somehow McDermott knows how to just plug another guy in, and the defense doesn't really seem to miss a beat. And then they are missing a lot of talent from the past couple of years. The safeties are gone. Milano's gone. And then Milano's backup's gone. Like they just keep losing guys, and it kind of doesn't seem to matter. The defense can just keep going with whoever they plug in. So that's a testament to the Bills' depth. And on the flip side, Tua's gone and they're hopeless. So yeah, what a great, I mean, good result for the Bills, but holy smokes, what a disaster for Miami.